The development that a child goes through in the first 12 years of their life will shape their future. No two children are the same, and every child learns at their own pace. It is important for teachers to recognise that learning is not a linear process. In the classroom at any one time, there could be children with learning difficulties, non-English speakers, and children from a range of diverse backgrounds, all with varying abilities. The socioeconomic position of a family can have a big impact on a child's ability and willingness to learn. Stanovich outlines a theory of the Matthew effect, that those who are around highly educated people and use more sophisticated levels of language and communication in the home expose young learners to these techniques, while children who are surrounded by those lacking higher education and demonstrating poor techniques will struggle with the complexities of learning. The same theory applies for Aboriginal students who do not generally speak standard Australian English in the home, and their families may have little or no literacy competency as a direct result of past failures of the education system. In Australia, Aboriginal students more often than not appear to be left behind, causing concern for their development in westernised schooling environments. There are many strategies that are being promoted to assist educators in meeting the unique needs of Aboriginal children. These focus on being able to identify individuals better, incorporating aspects of their home life into the classroom, and understanding where language and cultural barriers may arise. The best way to do this is by asking questions, both of the family and of the child, to encourage them to have input in the curriculum that is being taught. It is estimated that there are around 600 different dialects of Aboriginal language, so some suggest educators need to consider teaching Aboriginals with the same consideration given to non-English speaking children. The diverse range of languages creates a complex set of difficulties for educators, as the differences in word meanings and pronunciations of certain words or letters will impact an Aboriginal student's pragmatic understanding in the classroom. In the field of childhood developmental study, there has been a long-standing debate about the roles of nature and nurture in influencing an individual's development. Chomsky and Pinker are two major theorists associated with the nativist perspective, that in the wiring of the human brain there is an innate ability to learn. They believe that culture or upbringing has little effect on education, and that learning is a well-engineered biological instinct. Bronfenbrenner challenges these theories by suggesting children live and learn within multiple social and cultural contexts, that learning is not genetically predetermined, but greatly influenced by children's backgrounds, lifestyles, cultures, and prior knowledge. This idea is agreed upon by behaviourist and sociocultural theorists like Brenner and Vygotsky, who suggest a child is to be considered a blank slate, that children construct their knowledge through active participation in social and cultural experiences. From the moment of birth, a child begins learning and developing. There are guidelines as to the expected milestones, but these are only general and do not take into account impacting factors that may arise for the individual. Typically, in the first month of life, children develop the ability to see, hear, touch, smell, and taste. Babies put on nearly 1 kilo and grow about 1 inch per month, and crying is their main tool of communication. A baby's eyes are not fully developed. At the 1-month mark, they are only able to see objects a few inches from their face. But by 6 months, the eyes will work as a team to smoothly follow objects, see greater distances, and to see in partial colour. Ears develop rapidly as well. By 1 month, they are able to recognise familiar sounds like their parents' voices, and at 3 months, a child will turn their head towards a sound and become agitated if there are loud noises. The period of 3 to 6 months is when a baby becomes self-aware. Usually they will respond to their own name, play with their hands and feet, and start to recognise that limbs are an extension of themselves that they can control. They learn to grip objects, roll, and sit unassisted. They are beginning to explore abilities like clapping, shaking, pulling, and waving. Facial recognition has also improved significantly by this period, as well as the ability to understand facial cues. They begin to become familiar with faces they see regularly and may fret if surrounded by strangers. By the time a child is 9 months old, they will have started developing a real personality. They start to become aware of the world outside them, like other children, animals, and strangers. They also begin associating regularly used words with objects or actions. Words like no or mama develop meaning, and a child may start saying these words in order to get what they want. In this way, they are beginning to develop self-help skills. At 1 year, a child develops an understanding of emotions and communication. They will start to show joy and seek fun through play with others or comfort from familiar adults. They are more able to manipulate objects like holding a crayon, pushing a ball, and turning the pages of a book. Their gross motor skills develop significantly. The process of walking, dancing, and climbing will begin. And they are learning more words and associating them with meaning, making them able to follow simple directions like "come with me." At 2, a child's language has developed dramatically. They are able to say about 100 words and understand many more. They are able to understand gestures, facial cues, and are learning how to communicate in order to get a result. This helps to improve their social skills, and they begin to understand the process of turn-taking. Physically, a 2-year-old should be squatting, jumping, opening doors, and climbing. They also begin the process of toilet training and helping to dress and feed themselves. At 3 years old, a child has a pretty good understanding of the world around them. They are able to physically make their way around a new environment, navigating obstacles and seeking stimulation. They can follow 2-step instructions and understand positive and negative feedback. Their vocabulary has expanded to over 1,000 words, and they talk in mostly complete sentences. Fine motor skills should also show a big improvement by 3, beginning to use scissors, tracing, and manipulating zippers or buttons. A 3-year-old will also develop a greater sense of self and others. They can recognize if they are male or female and use the proper terms of possession like mine or hers. They will also be close to, if not finish, the toilet training process and develop likes and dislikes. At 4, time concepts are beginning to come into play. Words such as maybe, later, and before are understood, and they are developing their own understanding of reasoning and logic. A 4-year-old will start to develop friends and enjoy learning, especially the praise that comes along with it. They will begin to identify letters and numbers in different places and begin the process of writing. They are better equipped physically, emotionally, and cognitively to navigate the world around them and are starting to problem solve or seek help when needed. 5 to 6 is when a child moves away from early learning and begins to enter the world of schooling, where there are many expectations and requirements such as listening and sitting still. Children at this age are developing more complex movements like riding a bike. Their brain is also able to process more complex stimuli like multi-step instructions, understanding consequences, and teamwork. They also develop a sense of danger, pride, and competition, though they are not usually very good at handling the emotions of losing. By 6 years, a child should be able to fully feed themselves, toilet and dress themselves, and will usually develop a sense of privacy and gender awareness. Now they have started school, this age group is developing the ability to read, write, and count both forwards and backwards. The ages of 7 to 9 are when a child becomes more self-sufficient. They develop thinking and reasoning skills like logic and rationality, and are able to solve more complex problems. By 9 years, a child has been in formal schooling for some time. They will have developed a good grasp of English concepts like sentence structure and the use of text. Their understanding of mathematics includes division, mass, volume, and time. They gain knowledge about the world they live in, such as cultural diversity, the uses of technology, history, and science, like the solar system. Outside of the classroom, 7 to 9-year-olds are becoming more aware of their body and gender norms. They will begin to question reality, like if Santa Claus and Spider-Man are real. A lot of the time, children of this age group will be very close to their parents, confiding in them their fears and seeking affection. This doesn't often last long though. By the preteen stage, 10 to 12-year-olds may become defiant of their parents and emotional or moody. In the classroom, this age group has a basic understanding across the subjects of the Australian curriculum. So the goal of lessons is to now expand or delve deeper into these understandings. Students learn about influence, interpretation, semantics, and persuasion. They learn how to explain everyday things like energy and light. They analyse, predict, describe, and compare. They develop compassion and cultural awareness, understanding that not everyone is equal and identifying their rights and responsibilities in this world. At this age, the process of puberty is beginning. It is the final years of being classified as a child, and cognitively, by 12, a child is almost fully equipped. They understand right and wrong, actions and reactions, persuasion and lying, and they have the ability to concentrate and focus for long periods of time. They are ready to take on the world.